Yeah, Hare Krishna. And we're reading from the Path of Perfection and the and its failure and success in yoga. So it says, "What is God? Am I God? Why should I serve God? This is just like criminal thinking. What is this government? I can manage my own affairs. I don't care for the government. This is called avajananti. We may speak in this way, but the police department is there to punish us. Similarly, material nature is here to punish us with the threefold miseries: birth, old age, and disease. These miseries are meant for those rascals who, avajananti, do not care for God, or who take the meaning of God cheaply, saying, I am God, you are God, everybody is God, and nobody is God. Thus, the general progress of yoga is gradual. First, one practices karma yoga, which refers to ordinary fruitive activity. Ordinary activities include sinful activities, but karma yoga excludes such activities. Karma yoga refers only to good, pious activities, or those actions which are prescribed. After performing karma yoga, one comes to the platform of jnana yoga, knowledge. From the platform of knowledge, one attains to this Astanga yoga, the eightfold yoga system: dhyana, dharana, pranayama, asana, etc. And from Astanga yoga, one concentrates on Vishnu. One comes to the point of bhakti yoga. Bhakti yoga is the perfectional stage, and if one practices Krishna consciousness, one attains this stage from the very beginning without going through all the other stages. That is the direct route. If one practices jnana yoga and thinks that he has attained the ultimate, he is mistaken. He has to make further progress. If we are on a staircase to reach the top floor, which is the 100th floor, we are mistaken if we think that we have arrived when we are on the 13th floor. As stated before, the whole yoga system may be likened to a staircase, connecting or linking us to God. In order to attain the ultimate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we must go to the highest platform, and that is Bhakti Yoga. If one practices Jnana Yoga and thinks that he has attained the ultimate, he is mistaken. He has to make further progress. If we are on the staircase and have to reach the top floor, which is the 100th floor, we are mistaken if we think that we've arrived when we are on the 13th floor. As stated before, the whole yoga system may be likened to a staircase, connecting or linking us to God. In order to attain the ultimate, highest level, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we must go to the highest platform, and that is Bhakti Yoga. But why walk up all these steps if we have a chance to take an elevator? By means of an elevator, we can reach the top in a matter of seconds. Bhakti Yoga is this elevator, the direct process by which we can reach the top in a matter of seconds. We can go step by step, following all the other yoga systems, or we can go directly. Since in this age of Kali Yuga, people have short life spans and are always disturbed and anxious. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his causeless mercy has given us the elevator by which we can come immediately to the platform of Bhakti Yoga. The direct means in the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That direct means is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Rupa Goswami offers respects to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate. Oh, you are the most munificent incarnation because you are directly giving pure love of Krishna. To attain pure love of Krishna, one has to pass through so many stages of yoga. But you are giving this love directly. Therefore, you are the most munificent, the most merciful, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. As stated in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tatvata. Tato mam tatvato gyatva vishatetat anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. In the other yoga systems, there must be a mixture of bhakti, but bhakti yoga is unadulterated devotion. It is service without a motive. Generally, people pray with some motive in mind, but we should pray only for further engagement in devotional service. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us that when we pray, we should not pray for anything material. In the beginning, we cited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's perfect prayer. Nadanam, najanam, nasundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktira haituki twaye. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor to enjoy beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. What I want only is the causeless mercy of your devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Shikshastaka number 4. In this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addresses the Supreme Lord as Jagadisha. Jagat means universe, and Isha means controller. The Supreme Lord is the controller of the universe, and this can be understood by anyone. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu addresses the Supreme Lord as Jagadisha instead of Krishna or Rama. In the material world, we find many controllers, so it is logical that there is a controller of the entire universe. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not pray for wealth or followers or beautiful women, because these are material requests. Usually, people want to be very great leaders within this material world. Someone tries to become a very rich man like Ford or Rockefeller, or someone else tries to become president, or some great leader that many thousands of people will follow. These are all material demands. Give me money, give me followers, give me a nice wife. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuses to make such materialistic requests. He frankly says, I don't want any of these things. He even says, Mama Janmani Janmanishwari. That is, he's not even asking for liberation. Just as the materialists have their demands, the yogis demand liberation, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not want anything of this nature. Then why is he a devotee? Why is he worshiping Krishna? I simply want to engage in your service, birth after birth. He does not even pray for an end to birth, old age, disease, and death. There are no demands whatsoever, for this is the highest platform, the stage of bhakti yoga. Chanting Hare Krishna is also asking the Lord, please engage me in your service. This is the mantra taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Hare refers to the energy of the Lord, and Krishna and Rama are the names for the Lord himself. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Supreme Lord as Jagadisha instead of Krishna, in the material world we find many controllers. So it is logical that there is a controller of the entire universe. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not pray for wealth, followers, or beautiful women, because these are material requests. Usually people want to be very great leaders within this material world. Someone tries to become a very rich man like Ford or Rockefeller, or someone tries to become president or some great leader that many thousands of people will follow. These are all material demands. Give me money, give me followers, give me a nice wife. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuses to make such materialistic requests. He frankly says, I don't want any of these things. He even says, Mama Janmani Janmani Sware. That is, he is not even asking for liberation. Just as the materialists have their demands, the yogis demand liberation. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does not want anything of this nature. Then, why is he a devotee? Why is he worshiping Krishna? I simply want to engage in your service, O Krishna, birth after birth. He does not pray even for an end to birth, old age, disease, and death. There are no demands whatsoever, for this is the highest platform, the stage of bhakti yoga. Chanting Hare Krishna is also asking the Lord, please engage me in your service. This is the mantra taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare refers to the energy of the Lord, and Krishna and Rama are names for the Lord himself. When we chant Hare Krishna, we are asking Krishna to please engage us in his service. This is because our entire material disease is due to our having forgotten to serve God. In illusion, we are thinking, I am God. What is the other God that I have to serve? I myself am God. Ultimately, that is the only disease, the last snare of illusion. First of all, a person tries to be prime minister, and then president, or Rockefeller, or Ford, this and that. And when one fails, or attains such a post and is still unhappy, he wants to become God. That is like becoming an even higher president. When I understand that the presidency does not afford me eternal bliss and knowledge, I demand the highest presidency. I demand to become God. In that case, the demand is there, and this demand is our disease. In illusion, we are demanding to be the highest, but the process of bhakti yoga is just the opposite. We want to be servants, servants of the Lord, Krishna. There is no question of demanding to become the Lord. We just want to serve, that's all. Our original nature is rooted in service, and wanting to serve is the crucial test for the devotee. We may not realize it, but in this material world, we are also serving. If we want to become president, we have to make so many promises to the voters. In other words, the president has to say, I'll give the people my service. Unless he promises to serve his country, there is no question of his becoming president. So even if one is the most exalted leader, his position is to render service. This is very difficult for people to understand. Despite this becoming the highest executive in the land, one has to give service to the people. If that service is not given, one is likely to be usurped, fired, or killed. In the material world, service is very dangerous. If there is a little discrepancy in one's service, one is immediately fired. When the people did not like the service that President Nixon was rendering, they forced him to resign. Some people disagreed with President Kennedy, and he was killed. Similarly, in India, Gandhi was also killed because some people did not like the way he was rendering service. This is always the position in the material world. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to decide to cease rendering service for material motives. We must render service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna, and that rendering of service is our perfection. We have formed this international society for Krishna consciousness in order to teach people that they have forgotten, in order to teach people what they have forgotten. In this material world, we have forgotten the service of Radha Krishna. Therefore, we have become servants of Maya, the senses. Therefore, in this society, we are saying, you are serving your senses. Now, just turn your service to Radha and Krishna, and you will be happy. You have to render service either to Maya or illusion, or the senses, or to Shishi Radha Krishna. In this world, everyone is serving the senses, but people are not satisfied. No one can be satisfied because the senses are always demanding more gratification, and this means that we are constantly having to serve the senses. In any case, our position as servant remains the same. It is a question of whether we want to be happy in our service. It is the verdict of Bhagavad Gita and the other Vedic scriptures that we will never be happy trying to serve our senses, for they are only sources of misery. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays to be situated in Krishna's service. He also prays, Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Pada Pankaja Stita Dulisadrisam Vichintaya. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Shiksastakam number 5. This is another way of asking Krishna to engage us in his service. Loving devotional service can only be rendered to the personal form of Krishna, or Shama Sundara. The impersonalists emphasize the Vishwarupa, the universal form exhibited in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But it is stated therein, 11.21, that the demigods are very much afraid of this form. And Arjuna says, Adristapurvam Rishito Smi Dristva Vayena Cha Pavyatitam Mano Me Tad Eva Me Darshaya Deva Rupam Prasiddha Devesa Jagan Nivasa. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna or Krishna's form as Shama Sundara. O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe, there is no question of loving the Vishwarupa. If Krishna comes before you in the Vishwarupa form, you will be so filled with fear that you will forget your love. So don't be eager like the impersonalists to see the Vishwarupa form. Just render loving service to Shama Sundar, Krishna. We have more or less seen Krishna as the Vishwarupa during wartime in Calcutta in 1942. There was a siren, and we ran into a shelter, and the bombing began. In this way, we were seeing that Vishwarupa, and I was thinking, of course, this is also just another form of Krishna, but this is not a very joyful form. A devotee wants to love Krishna in his original form, and this Vishwarupa is not his original form. Being omnipotent, Krishna can appear in any form, but his lovable form is that of Krishna or Shama Sundara. Although a man may be a police officer, when he is at home, he is a beloved father to his son. But if he comes home firing his revolver, the son will be so frightened that he will forget that he is his beloved father. Naturally, the child loves his father when he's at home like a father. And similarly, we love Krishna as he is in his eternal abode in the form of Shama Sundara. The Vishwarupa was shown to Arjuna to warn those rascals who claim, I am God. Arjuna asked to see the Vishwarupa so that in the future we may have some criterion by which to test rascals who claim to be God. In other words, if someone says, I am God, we can simply reply, if you are God, please show me your Vishwarupa. And we can rest assured that such rascals cannot display this form. Of course, Arjuna was offering all respects to the Vishwarupa form. That is a natural quality of a devotee. A devotee even respects Durga, Maya, because Maya is Krishna's energy. If we respect Krishna, we respect everyone, even an ant. Therefore, Brahma says, Shristi stati pralaya sadhana saktireka chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga ichana rupam apiyasya chestate sa govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit spiritual potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this mundane world. I worship the primeval Lord Govinda in accordance with those with whose will Durga conducts herself. Brahma Samhita 5:44. Thus, when we pray to Krishna, we pray to Durga immediately, because Durga is his energy. And when we pray to Durga, we are actually praying to Krishna, because she is working under the direction of Krishna. When the devotee sees the activities of Maya, he sees Krishna immediately, thinking, oh, Maya is acting so nicely under the direction of Krishna. When one offers respect to a policeman, he is actually offering respect to the government. Durga, the material energy, is so powerful that she can create, annihilate, and maintain. But in all cases, she is acting under Krishna's direction. Through bhakti, pure devotion to Krishna, we can leave the association of Maya and be promoted to the eternal association of Krishna. Some of the gopis, Krishna's friends, are eternal associates, and others are promoted to that eternal position. If only the eternal associates of Krishna can play with him and others cannot, then what is the meaning of becoming Krishna conscious? We can also become eternal associates of Krishna through pious deeds executed in many, many lives. Actually, in the Brindavana, manifest in this material world, the associates of Krishna are mainly conditioned living entities who have been promoted to the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Thus promoted, they are first of all allowed to see Krishna on the planet where Krishna's pastimes are being enacted. After this, they are promoted to the transcendental Goloka Vrindavana in the spiritual sky. Therefore, it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10:12-11, Krita Punya Punja. Bhakti Yoga means connecting ourselves with Krishna, God, and becoming his eternal associates. Bhakti Yoga cannot be applied to any other objective. Therefore, in Buddhism, for instance, there is no Bhakti Yoga because they do not recognize the Supreme Lord existing as the supreme objective. Christians, however, practice Bhakti Yoga when they worship Jesus Christ because they are accepting him as the Son of God and are therefore accepting God. Unless one accepts God, there's no question of Bhakti Yoga. Christianity, therefore, is also a form of Vaishnavism because God is recognized. Nonetheless, there are different stages of God realization. Mainly, Christianity says God is great. And that is a very good assertion. But the actual greatness of God can be understood from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Accepting the greatness of God is the beginning of Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga also exists among the Mohammedans. Now you see, also amongst the Mohammedans. Because God is the target in the Muslim religion. However, where there is no recognition of a personal God, in other words, where there is only impersonalism, there is no question of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga must include three items: the servitor, the served, and the service. One must be present to accept service, and one must be present to render service. The via media is the process of service itself. In other words, seva, right? Bhakti Yoga now. Now, if there is no one to accept that service, how is Bhakti Yoga possible? Therefore, if a philosophy or religion does not accept God as the supreme person, there's no possibility of Bhakti Yoga being applied. In the Bhakti Yoga process, the role of the spiritual master is most important and essential. Although the spiritual master will always come back until his devotees have achieved God realization, one should not try to take advantage of this. We should not trouble our spiritual master, but should complete the Bhakti Yoga process in this life. See, if you're a devotee, then the spiritual master promises to take you back to Godhead. But if you're not a serious devotee, then you will unnecessarily interrupt the spiritual master, and he'll have to come back over and over again until you wise up and stop doing nonsense. It's a very terrible way to treat a guru. So we should be very serious. We shouldn't hurt our guru by, first of all, taking initiation and then not being serious and causing misery for the spiritual master, for the guru. The disciple should be sincere, should be serious in his service to the spiritual master. And if the devotee is intelligent, he should think, why should I act in such a way that my spiritual master has to take the trouble to reclaim me again. Let me realize Krishna in this life. That is the proper way of thinking. We should not think, oh, I am sure that my spiritual master will come and save me. Therefore, I will do as I please. If we have any affection for our spiritual master, we should complete the process of being liberated in this life so that he does not have to return to reclaim us. In this regard, there is the example of Bilmavangala Thakura, who in his previous life was elevated almost to Prema Bhakti, the highest platform of devotional service. However, since there is always a chance for a fall down, somehow or other he fell down. In his next life, he was born in a very rich Brahmana family, in accordance with the principle enunciated in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 6.41, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe. Unfortunately, as is often the case with rich boys, he became a prostitute hunter. Yet it is said that his spiritual master instructed him through his prostitute, saying, "Oh, you are so attached to this mere flesh, bones. If you were this much attached to Krishna, how much good you might achieve." So the prostitute became his guru. Immediately, Bilmavangala Thakur resumed his devotional service. So you see, here's an example of a prostitute becoming a guru. Although the spiritual master assumes responsibility for his disciple, we should not take advantage of this. Rather, we should try to please the spiritual master. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasada. We should not put our spiritual master in such a position that he has to reclaim us from a house of prostitution. But even if he has to do so, he will do it, because he assumes this responsibility when he accepts his disciple. So when the guru accepts someone as a disciple, that means that the guru cannot be liberated from the material world until his disciple is also liberated. And if the disciple falls down, then that'll keep the spiritual master in the material world until the disciple wises up and becomes Krishna conscious again. That might take one time in this world, material world, or it might take many times in the material world. Although the spiritual master assumes responsibility for his disciple, we should not take advantage of this. Rather, we should try to please the spiritual master. We should not put our spiritual master in such a position that he has to reclaim us from a house of prostitution. But even if he has to do so, he will do it, because he assumes this responsibility when he accepts his disciple. The Bhakti Yoga process should be completed in this life, because in this life we have all the instruments necessary to become fully Krishna conscious. We have mridangas and cymbals and tongues with which to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Even if we don't have mridangas and cymbals, we have a tongue. No one has to purchase a tongue. We also have ears with which to hear and the sound that the tongue vibrates. Therefore, we have all the instruments we need with us, a tongue and ears. We have only to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and use our ears to hear this vibration, and all perfection will be there. We don't have to become highly educated scientists or philosophers. We have only to chant and hear the holy names of the Lord. Thus we have everything complete. Purnam ada purnam idam. Everything created by God is complete. This aggregate earth, for instance, is complete. There is sufficient water in the oceans, and the sun acts to evaporate this water, turn it into clouds, and drop rain on the land to produce plants. And from the mountains, pure rivers are flowing to supply water throughout this year. If we want to evaporate a few 100 gallons of water, we have to make many arrangements. But the creation is so complete that millions of tons of water are being drawn from the ocean, turned into clouds, and then sprayed all over the land and reserved on the peaks of mountains so that water will be present for the production of grains and vegetables. Thus, the creation is complete because it comes from the complete, Krishna. And similarly, our bodies are also complete for spiritual realization. The complete machine is already with us. We have only to utilize it to vibrate the transcendental sound, sabda, or meaning Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we will attain complete liberation from all material miseries. Oh, that's it. End of the end of the explanation. Okay. Are there any questions anyone would like to ask? It's not the end of the book, but it's the end of that chapter. Yeah. Any questions or comments? There's so many wonderful things that are being said that I read just now. Does anybody have a question? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Why do you come to the temple? Is that your question? So you can see Krishna. You see Krishna? Ah, that's why we come to the temple. You're welcome. Chant Hare Krishna. Let me hear you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mamantra Ki Jai. Thank you very much. You see how nice Krishna consciousness is. Even a young, very, very young child can be Krishna conscious. Okay, any other questions? Yes, go ahead. Who told you that? That they're not in bhakti? Yeah, but you're a devotee and you try to engage in devotional service, helping people to understand who Krishna is so that they can become devotees also.
So here like this by the Puri means like actually in mukti,
Yes,
not mundane life.
yeah, exactly. Okay, talk loud, talk loud. I can't hear you. Everybody has a possibility to be Krishna conscious. Everybody. But you have to have the help of a bona fide devotee to teach you how to become Krishna conscious and to also correct you when you make mistakes. Yeah. Without having a bona fide guru, you will not really make tangible spiritual advancement. But if you have a genuine guru who is himself Krishna conscious, then if you make a mistake, he'll be able to correct you. And that means that you will save a lot of time and not make, and have someone who can help you to overcome your mistakes. Obviously, we're all going to make mistakes, right? Now, who is going to correct the mistakes? A bona fide spiritual master. Who has himself a spiritual master? So there is always the opportunity to be corrected in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, people make up things, thinking that, whatever they're thinking is correct. But no, there's a correct way and an incorrect way, and you can only understand that if you are corrected when you make a mistake. Otherwise, you might think, well, whatever I say, whatever I do, it's correct. Haribol. Just like you might be smoking a cigarette, and someone says, oh, you shouldn't smoke. And the person says, listen, mind your own business. I know what I'm doing. So, how can he be corrected, right? So, eventually, he'll have to be corrected because that's the only way to make spiritual advancement. But if he's not interested in being spiritually advanced, he'll refuse to be corrected also. He'll go along merrily, smoking cigarettes or cigars or whatever, and getting cancer and then dying. Because he refuses to accept any good advice. So that's the problem, see. Our disease is we don't want anyone to tell us what to do. We think that we know everything. Well, if you know everything, that means you only act according to Krishna consciousness. But if you are adamantly thinking you know everything, but you're not actually Krishna conscious, then you're a nonsense person. So how to become Krishna conscious is not difficult. Simply follow the instructions in the Bhagavad Gita and also the instructions given by the bona fide devotees who are qualified to give you instructions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments?
Christianity is also Vaishnavism. That's like very
because
inspiring.
They believe in God.
God, yeah.
The Christians believe that there's a God, so they're also Krishna conscious. Whereas the atheists, they don't believe in God, so they're not Krishna conscious. Okay, go ahead.
That's very interesting, Mother. Yeah. Prabhupada is making connection, all the Muslims and
He's telling the
Christianity,
truth.
everything. Yeah.
You know, Christians are also, if they believe in God, they're also devotees.
Yes, Mother, yeah. Definitely.
They might not have perfect knowledge.
Right.
So many Christians, they smoke cigarettes. So many Christians, they eat meat. And so many Christians, they'll also engage in illicit sex, you know. But the fact that they actually accept the existence of God, they're still considered devotees. They might not be the devotees on the highest level, but they're still devotees because they respect God. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions or comments? Don't be afraid to ask a question.
I see one more point, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Prabhupada is saying we have established this ISKCON to teach people what they have forgotten.
Yeah.
That's like
Most of the people in the world have forgotten their relationship with God.
so that's why he said we established ISKCON.
So the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, founded by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada is clearly saying that he started the Hare Krishna movement in order to teach people who God is and therefore also how to love God. It's not enough just to know God. You have to also love God, and that requires education. And Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is teaching us not only to know Krishna, but also to love Krishna. When you love Krishna, then you are qualified to go back to the spiritual world. If you simply know Krishna, you'll still stay in the material world. Yeah. Any other questions? Don't be afraid to ask a question. Yeah, okay. Please.
I think you briefly mentioned about having a guru, and you say that having a guru is the way to tell if something is right or something is wrong. You mentioned the example of smoking a cigarette, but couldn't you say experiences are like you don't have to have a specific guru. Your experiences can teach you itself. So isn't that a counterexample to your point that you always need a guru? Like having experiences are your guru. You don't need a specific guru to teach you something.
Who told you that?
I just came up with it myself.
Well, you're making a mistake. Because basically what you're saying is, no one can tell me what to do. I'll figure it out myself. And you'll make mistakes. I can guarantee you, you will make mistakes.
But let's say the example of the smoker, the chain smoker who's smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
In the end, he's going to come to the point where he gets lung cancer. Isn't that like a moment of teaching for him where he gets corrected by the experience? He doesn't have to have a specific person telling him that smoking is bad for him because he's learning through personal experience. He's learning it.
No, not necessarily. My father, he was a chain smoker. And he never accepted to stop smoking. And then he died of cancer. Even though we were telling him, Dad, it's bad, don't smoke anymore. But he wouldn't listen. So there are many people like that in the world. They don't listen to good advice. They hear it, but they don't listen. So we have to be very careful. That's why it's necessary to have a bona fide spiritual master who is not a bully. He's not a person who'll take advantage of you. No, he's simply there to help you understand who Krishna is. He's not there to take your money. He's not there to do anything that is, let's say, any type of way to extort you. He's there only to instruct you. And if you accept the instruction of a bona fide guru, you won't make any mistakes. And when you do make a mistake, the guru is there to help you to overcome your mistakes. If you don't have a guru, who's going to correct you? You can go your whole life believing things that are not true because you refuse to be corrected by a bona fide guru. You can go your whole life making mistakes because you refuse to have a guru. That's unfortunately that's happening today. People are going through their whole lifetime not accepting a guru and just following their own whims and making trouble for themselves and for others. Because people like that refuse to be corrected. You know anybody like that? Refuse to be corrected? You see? So to be corrected, you have to have some humility. And you have to be smart enough to know that I don't know everything. Therefore, I need the help of those people who do know more than I do. Not everybody knows everything. And that's not a disease. But we can learn as we go along if we have a bona fide guru, and avoid making unnecessary mistakes. Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
How to develop more and more love for Krishna every passing day?
How to make more and more, how to have more and more love for Krishna. It's by giving up more and more nonsense. The more and more nonsense you give up, the more and more chance you have to love Krishna. Now, what does I mean? What do I mean by nonsense? Well, I can give you a good example. What is it? Yesterday, huh? Was that yesterday where they had the football? Yeah. Nobody came for the temple. Yeah, yeah. Nobody came to the temple. Maybe there was 1 or 2 hours here, but nobody else came. That means that they are nonsense. What spiritual benefit do you get by going to see the football game? You tell me. What spiritual benefit do you get out of watching a ball going this way and that way? Huh? You don't learn anything. You don't learn anything. Okay. So, to be a devotee, you have to be always on the path of Krishna consciousness and not to divert. Always stay on the path of Krishna consciousness. Going to a football game is not staying on the path. Yeah. That means you're not really serious about spiritual life. Any other questions? Anyway, what's so important about a football game? Right? It's all nonsense. They're running after a ball this way, and then some are going that way. And by the way, it's boring. It's not that. Baseball is the worst boring. You know, football is a little bit less boring, but still it's boring. You know, but from the point of view of, did I learn something, or did I just waste my time? You just learned. You just wasted your time. You could have read a book like this, right? Instead of going to the football game and wasting your money also. You know how much does it cost to get into a football game? Can you give me some money? Can you bring some money from home? Okay. You have money under your TV? You have a TV at home? What do you see? Who did you watch today? What? Jagannath. Oh, okay. Do you watch any pop show? What that? You watch cartoons? That's nonsense. Sometimes you do nonsense, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. All right, any other questions? And no more nonsense. Any more questions? Yeah. For a ticket? No, really? Wow. And there were thousands of people, right? Yeah. There are a lot of crazy people in this world. But they think that spending $8,000 to go see a football game is good, but it's a waste of time and big waste of money. Haribol. I hope you don't do that. Yeah. 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 All right, what are you saying? What are you saying?
So when the kids are young and they have a lot of energy,
They play games.
they play games and
Yeah.
they play this football and all these games they play when they're young.
Yeah.
But that also leads them to watching the game.
Now, wait a minute. Krishna, when he was a young boy, he was also playing games.
Yes.
But they were Krishna conscious games. You see? So there's games and there's games. Krishna's games are all Krishna conscious games.
Yes.
But if you play games where Krishna is not involved at all, then you're wasting your time. There are Krishna games, right?
Yeah.
So we should always be connected to Krishna in everything we do. That means we're a devotee. But if we go away from Krishna and do things where Krishna is not involved at all, we're in a state of illusion. Therefore, before we do something, we should ask ourselves a question. Is this something that Krishna accepts, or is this something that Krishna will not accept? So if someone says to you, "Oh, Prabhu, let's watch television tonight. There's a football game." Now you have to ask a question to yourself. Is this correct to waste 2 or 3 hours watching a football game? Or is it wrong? Obviously it's wrong, because in that 3-hour period that you're watching the game, you're wasting your time. Where you could be chanting Hare Krishna, you could be engaging in devotional service and so many things. Is there any devotional service when you watch a football game? Nothing. So we should make a decision in our life. Should I do things that have no, let's say, no Krishna conscious activities? That there are so many things in this world. Should I do those things that have no connection to Krishna? Well, if you want to be a devotee, you should never do anything that has no connection to Krishna. Now, the football game that the devotees went to see, what was it, yesterday or day after, or day before? Sunday. The devotees, these are initiated devotees, they went to see the football game, right? They wasted their time. What spiritual advancement did they make by watching the football, by going to the football game? And some of them, I think, actually paid money to get into the football game, I think. I'm not sure about that. And those tickets are expensive, you know. So what spiritual benefit did those devotees get instead of coming to the temple? The day, what was it, 2 days ago, right? I was here, right? Not many devotees came because they were watching the television, the football game. What spiritual benefit did they get by watching the football game? It's not only nothing. That what happens is it loosens your determination to be Krishna conscious by wasting 3 hours or plus watching a football game or a basketball game or a baseball game. You're just wasting your time. You're not learning anything. You're not doing anything for Krishna. Right? Jai Shri Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So we shouldn't waste our time with football, basketball, this ball, and that ball. Right? Any other questions or comments? Yes. You come and sit next to me. You come and sit next to me, then you'll be able to control your mind. I'm always here. Hare Krishna. So you went to see the football game, right? On the TV. Yeah, okay, it was the same thing, yeah. So what did you learn by watching the football game? Man, what did you learn that was Krishna conscious by watching the football game?
Nothing related to Krishna.
Nothing, right.
Yeah.
So that means that you have been what you would call hurt spiritually by wasting that time watching a football game that has nothing to do with Krishna consciousness.
Got it.
So you have to be careful what you do. You should always ask this question to yourself. Is this something that's going to help me in Krishna consciousness or not help me? Is watching the football game going to help you?
Got it.
Yes?
No.
No. So you shouldn't do it. That's what you have to ask yourself. Every day you should ask this question.
Okay.
Is this something, people are asking me to go here or do this or do that. Is this something that's going to help me to be Krishna conscious or not help me?
Got it. Okay.
So, therefore, if it's something that is not going to help you to be Krishna conscious, you shouldn't do it.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Any other questions or comments from the ladies? Any other questions or comments? Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Maharaj, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 17, Krishna talks about regulated recreation.
Regulated,
Recre-
regulation, what?
Regulated recreation.
Regulated
Recreation.
recreation, yeah.
Yeah. So that means
Where does he say that?
in chapter 6, verse 17.
Okay. But what kind of recreation are they talking about?
No, it's not specified which kind of recreation.
It's not specific of what kind of recreation. What kind of recreation are they talking about?
The translation is, he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system.
Recreation, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, recreation means that you are going on Sankirtan, you are engaging in activities to spread Krishna consciousness. All that is recreation. It's not sleeping, it's not playing football or anything like that. That's not recreation. It's activities in Krishna consciousness, physical activities in Krishna consciousness, which can be, like, for example, chanting Hare Krishna. That's a recreational activity, which is Krishna conscious. It's good exercise. You're jumping up and down, and you're running also sometimes. And so that's the best recreation, to go on Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah. So you have to be careful about words. You have to be careful. See? You don't want to misunderstand what the words are saying. The only recreation we do is chanting Hare Krishna and dancing also. Dancing, chanting Hare Krishna. That's exercise, but the real exercise, not the junk exercise. Any other questions or comments? Yeah. You're having fun, aren't you? Yeah. You're running, you're chanting, you're jumping up and down. And you're learning also. See? Learning how to run and chant at the same time. Yes. Soap Lake is a wonderful place to go, where we chant Hare Krishna and we eat very nice prasadam there, right? And we have fun. Krishna consciousness is full of fun. It's full of fun. Yeah. How many of you have gone to the Soap Lake retreat that we go on? Oh, man. How many of you have not gone on the retreat? Half your life is finished. You have to come on our wonderful outings, where it's so much fun. Isn't it fun? Yeah, it's the most fun. Okay, so huh? You can't wait till the next time you come. Yeah, you're right. Haribol. Okay, any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. I like this. When we're waiting to get a question, we're chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
So in today's chapter, there was one line that you have read. The disciple should be serious. The disciple should be serious in his service to the spiritual master. And if devotee is intelligent, he should think, why should I act in such a way that my spiritual master has to take the trouble to reclaim me again? Let me
In
realize
other words,
Krishna.
to reclaim me again means that he has left Krishna consciousness. So the spiritual master has to reclaim him again. Yeah.
And let me realize Krishna in this life. So Maharaj, my question is, when a neophyte devotee is trying to be serious in Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
and in sometimes mind plays some tricks in some situations, or rarely, but
Like going to a football game?
yeah, maybe something more.
And watching it or watching it.
Yeah. This is an
But you have
example,
to
but
see-
some other
See,
situations as well.
Listen, we only have a certain amount of time in this material world. Right? We don't know when we're going to die. So to go to watch a football game or a basketball game or this game or that game, you are wasting your time, but more dangerous than that is you could have a heart attack while watching. And then what would happen to you? You would go back to the animal world and have to wait to come back to be a human being. You see? So we have to be very careful what we do. Any minute we can die. Any minute. And when we die doing nonsense things, we can fall back into the animal world. We'll come back again, but after many thousands and thousands of years, to the human form of life. The human form of life is very special. It's the only human form in which one can make tangible spiritual advancement and understand who Krishna is. There are many other living entities, dogs, cats, all kinds of living entities, but they don't have the ability to understand a relationship with God. It's only in the human form that there's the possibility to understand your relationship with God. And in the human form, if we waste that life, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, and not being Krishna conscious, we go back again into the animal world, and then wait thousands and thousands of years to come back again to the human form. Once we come to the human form, we should use it to go back to Godhead, not misuse it by watching television and going to this football game or basketball game and things like that. You're wasting your time and you're going to hurt yourself, because any minute that goes by that you're not Krishna conscious is dangerous, because you could die and you would go back again into the animal world and wait hundreds and thousands of years to come back to the human form again. So we should use every second in Krishna consciousness. Once we have understood what Krishna consciousness is, we should not spend any waste of time, because time is the most precious thing that we have. Therefore, every minute, every second should be used in Krishna's service. Haribol. Any other questions or comments? Any other questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Yes. Yes. Yeah, if you're an initiated devotee and you do not, and you fall down for some reason, That was a fall down right there. That means that you're going to force the spiritual master to remain in this material world to liberate you. You see? So it's not that you're hurting yourself, you're also hurting the spiritual master.
So Maharaj, like in the example of Bilamangal
Vilma Mangala Thakur.
Thakur, so like his special master in the next life, he like through the prostitute, like he guided him. Like so, he was like he didn't when I heard the example, it seems like he was not there, but like through the prostitute, he was able to guide him that like why you are attracted to this place. And
He was instructed by the prostitute. It's a long story, but to make this short story, he was going to this prostitute, right? It was a very bad weather, and it was dark, and he had to swim through water, and it was very difficult for him to get to the prostitute's house. And the weather was really bad. And when she saw him, he was like in bad condition because he had to swim through a river. He grabbed a log thinking it was a log, but it was like an animal. And anyway, when he got to see the prostitute late at night, and she said, if you used all this energy to come and see me, but if you used the same energy to be Krishna conscious, you would be back to Godhead. And when she told him that, it connected in his mind, and he realized that what he was doing was very, very bad, wasting all that energy and time just to see a prostitute. So she became his guru, and he accepted her instruction to not waste time in trying to have sex, rather using the time to be engaged in Krishna consciousness. You see? So even a prostitute can be a teacher. So we have to be very careful to use our time. See, time is the most important thing that we have. You can't bring time back again. As soon as a minute goes by, it's not going to come back again. So basically, time is the most precious thing that we have. Therefore, we should be very careful to use it correctly. Use it or abuse it. So we should not abuse time. Time is the most precious thing that we have. Also, sometimes there are people, let's say there's more elderly gentlemen, and they get really sick, and they plead the doctor, please, doctor, I have to live at least 4 more years because I haven't written my No, I haven't written my history. Huh? Yeah, I haven't written my biography. Yeah. Who cares about his biography anyway? No one's going to read it. So see, that's the example of a person who has been wasting his time. And now he's very sick and he might die. And now he's praying to God, please give me another 4 more years. God, I haven't written my biography. See, nobody's going to read his biography anyway, So these are all silly people, right? So time is the most important thing we have. We shouldn't waste any second of time because you can't get it back. Right? You shouldn't say, oh, well, I'm still a young man and I don't care about this or that. I'll just enjoy life. And then he has a car accident and he dies. He didn't know he was going to die. Or he didn't know the accident would be so bad that he'd be crippled the rest of his life. You see? So you got to be really careful. Time is the most important thing in our life. And if we misuse time, it can have catastrophic effects. Catastrophic effects. Therefore, we should always be engaged in Krishna conscious activities. Never take a hiatus and not do things Krishna conscious, such as going to a baseball game or football game and sit there and watch the ball go this way and then that way. And people are jumping up and down, and none of the people are Krishna conscious. Right? So you're wasting your time. Time is the most precious thing that we have. We should only use it in the service of Krishna. Hari Bol. Any other questions or comments? Yes, sir.
Not modern day, just education in general, learning how to read and learning how to write, all those stuff, all those things, aren't they also a waste of time, like educating to develop society? And basically by developing society, you're also doing pietist tasks like helping people, helping homeless people. Isn't that also a waste of time? How does that relate back to Krishna consciousness?
Well, we go on Harinam Sankirtan, and we take a lot of food with us, and we feed homeless people. We have burritos, right? We have the food truck. So, but along with the food, we also have spiritual instruction. We have our pamphlets, and we have our books. It's not just that we're feeding people. There are a lot of other companies or organizations that feed people. We feed people, but we give them also spiritual instruction. If we only feed people and don't give any spiritual instruction, that is not good. But we feed people and we give spiritual instruction. They hear the Mahamantra, they can ask questions. We have books also and pamphlets and so forth to give everybody a chance, no matter who they are, to have nice prasadam and to have some understanding of Krishna consciousness. And many people who come regularly to our food truck, in the beginning they don't say Hare Krishna. But after some time, what do they say? You go on the food truck. Yeah. 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 One time, a hundi box, we forgot to take it. Right? Then, the next day, one of the people that come to the food truck, and most of these people are very, you could call them hobos. They're not really serious about spiritual life, but they like the prasadam. A person like that picked up the hundi box, kept it overnight, and brought it to us the next day, and did not take one penny. So that's the educational part of our giving free prasadam to people. They get educated to have respect for devotees, and if they can in some way do something to help us, they do it. Right? Not immediately, but especially the ones that come regularly to the food truck. How many people come regularly to the food trucks? Yeah, that means almost every time we go out, they come to have prasadam. Yeah. Hare Krishna. We what? Yeah, what we're giving is not food, it's Krishna prasadam, because it's been offered with love and devotion to Krishna, and then we take it out and give it to the people. So it's not just food, it's Krishna prasadam. Yeah. Yeah. Who told you that you have to get the money? You don't have to pay for the money. But did we ask you to pay for the money? But that's a voluntary thing. We don't say that in order to have the prasadam, it costs so much money. We never say that. We always give it out free. If you want to donate, you can. But we don't have it anywhere that you have to pay for the prasadam. Have you ever seen us asking for prasadam money? Yeah. No. You can come and sweep the floor. You can come and do different types of services in the temple with no money involved. Yes. And that depends on you. But you can, at the same time, be Krishna conscious and have a job. Okay, now here's a person right here. Okay, raise your hand. You got a job? Are you Krishna conscious? And he's a very good devotee, right? He does tremendous amount of devotional service. He drives the food truck. How many times in the week do you drive? Once, yeah. Yeah. And who do you work for? What company? Yeah, he works for Expedia. But he does a lot of devotional service. Not only driving the food truck, he also helps in the kitchen. What other things you do? He also organizes the festivals, which are, it's a lot of work, believe me. Yeah. But it's fun. Huh? Also, yeah, he's also funding the temple. Yeah. Yes. No. What I mean is, you should not forget Krishna. You should always have Krishna in your mind. Now, you might be at work, right? But you should also keep Krishna in your mind, even at work. Right? It doesn't stop you from working. But you're not forgetting Krishna. That's the main thing. Okay, go ahead. Nobody said that. I didn't say that. You can, I have a big business, but I'm still engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, right? So, you can be Krishna conscious and still be engaged in all kinds of activities. Right? It doesn't stop you from any let's say, bona fide activities. I have a company. I have to pay my, workers. Right? But that doesn't stop me from being Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Huh? Yeah, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He came to the United States with $7 in his pocket, right? And in a short period of time, like one year, he built a gigantic, spiritual movement, and it's still growing, even now, and it's grown all over the world. Of course, he left his body in 11 years, but the movement is going on very, very, proactively. And he did that in a short period of time, when he was over 70 years old. By the time he was 79, 80 years old, he left his body. But the movement by that time had spread all over the world. So you can do wonderful things if you're Krishna conscious. Wonderful not in the sense that you are making a lot of money or you're very famous. No. You are a spiritual person, and you engage in activities that are beneficial for all people. That is spiritual life, being beneficial for all people. Right. Okay, any other questions or comments? When you look, there's two ways of looking at it. The best way is, I have a job and I'm working, very hard, spending many, many hours. But every month, I offer so much money as a donation to the temple. So that way you're in Krishna consciousness, right? You share some of the money that you make. Even though you're working so hard, your timetable is very strict and so forth, but you never forget Krishna. You make donations. I've been making donations to Krishna consciousness. Now I have a company. Always had companies. I never worked for anybody else. I always had my own companies. I still have a company. I always give money to the temple. The more money you give to the temple, the more success you have in your job, in your work. That's what I have experienced. So we should always be ready to help the Hare Krishna movement, because it's a good movement. It's all about helping people becoming Krishna conscious. It's not because somebody's trying to make a lot of money. We are concerned in helping people to be Krishna conscious. That's the greatest gift you can give a person, to teach them to be Krishna conscious. In the same time, you can have a job. In the same time, you can be married. At the same time, you can have kids. But your real vocation is helping people to be Krishna conscious. Haribol. Any other questions or comments? Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, it's 9 o'clock. I'm like Cinderella. I have to go and get into bed before my golden shoes fall off. Haribol, thank you very much. Please chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Happy. Jai.